Yes,
All right,
Dad.
and we are live. Welcome to another episode of Foreign Domestic. Good to see everyone out there. I hope everyone had a great Thanksgiving and did not comply with bullshit. With that being said, let's flip it over to Alan to get us started off right.
Well, good morning, everybody. Oh wait, it may not be morning. Anyway, we'll start off in the usual fashion.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under
Nation under
God,
God,
indivisible, with
indivisible,
liberty and justice for all.
to all.
All right. Let's see what YouTube says is the participants so far. 67 Rebel SSTAMC. Nice. Barnaby Sanchez out there. Chipper 66. Firearms 101. G23. Jerry Parker. K24. Kingpin out there already kicking the links. Rich White. The sexiest man on YouTube, Battle Bean, Broke Loader, Gun Loving Grandpa, did I say Jerry Parker, Lever Guns 50, Smile Money. Yeah, the side chat is already starting to fill up. Keith Gregory jumping in, Snake Doctor 78, Jer Bear Tactical. It's already filling up pretty good already.
Yeah, it is firing off pretty fast. Just keeps on scrolling. Good to see. Jamie, how you doing, man?
Doing great, man. Hope everyone else is. We had a pretty good Thanksgiving. There's G23. Hey, bud. We had a good live stream Friday night. We had Josh 243 outdoors and Squatch came on, and great to catch up with Josh. Hadn't seen him in a month of Sunday, so it was good to have him. Hope all y'all had a great Thanksgiving.
Yeah, it was good to see Josh. I haven't seen him in pretty much since the Dead Zero shoot, so it's been a while.
Yeah.
Daniel, how you doing, man?
Well, I'm doing as long as I can turn my mic on. Oh, Thanksgiving here. It was just a quiet day. Didn't really go nowhere. Didn't do nothing. My wife and I, we just kind of hung out here and went outside and enjoyed ourselves. For Black Friday, I went to one place, stood in line, waited. I was number one there, and I got skunked. They had nothing that I wanted. No primers, no powder, and didn't even have any mechanical broadheads I wanted to get some extra of. No.
I like fixed blades anyway.
Yeah. Well, I'm shooting an old man's crossbow right now, so I got to go that route.
Val, how you doing, man?
I'm hanging in there, all things considered. Thanksgiving was pretty cool. We spent it at my sister's place in Pennsylvania. Wound up bringing my goddaughter and Monica's mom with us as well. I mean, she didn't really feel like it, day after the funeral, but you know what? It at the end it worked out pretty good. So now we're gonna deal with the rest.
Good deal. And we got Chris with us. How you doing, buddy?
Hey, brothers. How y'all doing tonight? Y'all have a good Thanksgiving. I hope you did. I didn't do much. I was going to cook, but I had two relatives go, we cooked all this food, or we're going to cook all this food. We're going to bring you some. I'm like, you're like 3 or 4 people. Why did you cook enough food for 20? And yeah, I ended up with a lot of leftovers. I didn't have to cook, which was cool. So doing all right. Good to see everybody.
Good deal. So, Alan, what you been up to this week? Just anything other than work, or?
Well, this week I actually didn't work. I was actually off this week. I took advantage of the 2 days off that my work was going to provide, and took the other 3 days off on my vacation. So I got a weekend on both sides and the entire week off, and only burned 3 days of vacation. So I did do that. I did get me a little tiny bit of ammo, just some PMC green tips. Those guys were about $9 a box, and a little bit of this wear your mask Fiocchi, whatever. That stuff was like $16 a box. So not ridiculous, but still the hunt for primers didn't work out. I still have yet to come up with primers. I did a ton of loading, and I am now entirely out of small pistol primers. I do have a little bit of large pistol primers left, but I'm now dead in the water when it comes to small pistol primers. Along with that, I ended up building this thing right back here. So anybody that's into remote control cars, that's a 1/16 Revo. It's a little bit on steroids. So this is a 1/16 Revo, but it's got a 10th scale power system in it, and dual servos, aluminum where it counts and plastic where it counts. So putting all that little tiny crap together and building this custom machine, and I don't have a GPS, but I'd say it's doing about 70 miles an hour. So
how long do you think before you break it?
It's very, very surprising that I haven't broke it yet. The only reason why I was actually able to take it out and do any test runs with it was because my weather was actually pretty nice towards the tail end of the week. The rain went away, stuff dried up. So I took it out into the biggest parking lot I could find where there was nothing out there, and basically ran straight lines with it. Other than that, yeah, I'm a little fearful of just bashing on this thing. I literally am only running it to test it, and I don't know. I might turn around and trade it for something else. But it's one badass little machine. To see how small all the gears are and everything in this, and know how much power it's got and how fast it goes, is kind of mind-boggling.
Did you do a burnout?
Yeah, good old days. Good old days when those toys had a small engine with a 2-speed tranny and a reverse. Now they're all quiet.
All I can say is at 70 miles an hour, Alan, don't hit anything. It's going to go wow. That's a lot of work going to be blown apart if you hit it at 70.
Right. This thing will just turn into a pile of bits.
Now, I just want to know, Alan, take video. Make video every time you take it out, okay? Because if you do hit it,
that's one thing that I haven't figured out.
Okay.
There's a lot of RC channels on YouTube. How they drive and film at the same time, unless you've got a second person, I really have no idea how you do it. Some guys will strap GoPros to the actual RCs, but to try to get this on camera while I'm driving is a lot more difficult because I tried it, and I don't know how these guys are doing it.
Put a GoPro.
Well, find out.
Put a GoPro on your head.
Where these guys are getting the drones. the cameras that they have mounted on drones. See if you can get one of those and work into the system and mount and put one of those drone cameras on the car.
And I contemplated that because I
You're
might
on to-
have a little bit of room inside the body. I'm having to make a custom body for it. But I might have a little bit of room on the inside of the body to actually mount the camera inside the car. So I don't know.
Just listen.
Yeah, that'd be pretty
Just-
cool. Chase some cats.
Strap your phone to the car. This way you'll have a camera, and the GPS on the phone will tell you how fast you're going. And if you crash it, then
Well, and that's definitely another alternative. Part of one of the things that I'm thinking about is a camera mount that will feed back to a cellular device or something. That way I can actually just run the thing wherever I want to run it and get whatever intel I need.
So
If it snags up the car, deal.
just an idea, but you might want to ask Kenny and see if he can't maybe come up with a little tiny camera that would go on there.
Yep. He's running those Eagle Eye target cams now.
Might be able to make it just a little bit smaller so it fit on there.
I'm sure they got something commercial, because I remember maybe 10 years ago I bought my kid for Christmas. I bought him the spy car. So basically, you put the goggles on and the earplugs, and the car had a camera, so you see whatever the car is going, and it was remote control. So if you look into it, I'm sure there's stuff you can just buy.
Okay, I'm not saying this is not interesting, because it is. But is this really where we're at? I mean, we're gun guys, and we're talking about radio control
a
cars.
mechanical hobby.
We're sharing his hobby.
You know something. I was just going to say, you know something, Alan, you're occupying your time doing something. When you can't do other things, you said you don't have the primers you got, and you're like, well, I don't have primers. I can do this. And hey, what is that, buddy?
I got you beat, Alan. This is remote control helicopter.
Sweet.
That I crashed a little while ago, and I don't think I can even get the parts for it.
Well, that's not
sweet. That's expensive. That's an expensive hobby, because try to have a $2,000 helicopter with a 600 millimeter blades doing 50, 60 miles an hour in the sky, doing all kinds of acrobatics. And it doesn't even have to be your fault. One link snaps and the whole thing comes crashing down. And just if you break the blades, it's about $200.
Yeah,
so, yeah.
It could be a very expensive hobby, and flying is even worse. That's why I stick to surface vehicles.
Yeah, I've been there. I've done it all. Before I got into shooting, now I can't afford two expensive hobbies. It used to be nice, because whole summer, every weekend, when my kids were little, when my son was little, I would pack him in a car with his little Power Wheels, put 2 or 3 helicopters. Back then, everything was a gas engine.
Well, how do you think I
can
build something like that? I haven't been buying ammo. I haven't been buying primers. I mean, what else am I supposed to do?
So I did come across something pretty cool, and some of you guys might have seen it already, but CZ Fangirl put a video out about this, but I found it previous to that video. And CO2 Shadow 2. So you can practice. But I discovered not just a Shadow 2, but a whole line of CZ75. So I just threw a link out there. But they have many, many others, including freaking Glock 3 Battle Beam, if he so chooses so. But there's multiple options out there.
You mean like this Tanfoglio Limited CO2?
Yep.
Back when I was shooting CZs, I got this to practice in the winter. I mean, it's identical. Even with the magazine, even the weight is pretty close. And it operates just like a real gun.
Yep. And that's
you're saying CZ is actually making those?
No, not CZ. Usually Umarex, or this one's made by I don't know, but if they like good quality, they're gonna have all the markings. They're gonna be licensed by CZ.
KJ Works.
Yeah, KJ Works a good one. Yeah, this is a limited custom, Eric Graffel. So this is whatever he used to shoot. And they haul ass. I mean, 450 feet per second, those BBs go. So they do hurt.
But it's just a good way for you to keep practicing so you're not burning ammo.
Yep. Either that or you can get Cool Fire. That's another good option. Cool Fire is probably even better because you practice with your own gun.
Well, I think that'd be a great idea for different weapons manipulation. Draw strokes training, dry fire training.
That's a great way to introduce new people to it too. So before they get a live fire gun in their hands, you can walk them through it a lot safer.
The thing that I was going to say is I owned a lot of my guns and things like that. And if you have something that's almost identical in weight and feel to the real gun, the only thing you're oil, but yes, dry fire training, sight alignment, the positioning in your hands, muscle memory. It's another training tool.
Yeah, I tried to. I mentioned that to the wife here today about the CO2, and playing with that, and she said, "No, that stuff hurts." I just said, "Hey, why do we got to shoot at each other? We got 2 kids in the house."
Oh! There you go.
You had to have it for a reason. Why not targets?
Moving targets.
Run, kiddies, run!
Yeah, just be careful because the kids might get those guns too and fight back.
Yeah, they might sneak up behind you and hit you with something.
They try to overturn the government.
As long as it's on video, I guess it's cool.
No, it kind of surprised me. I looked into it over the past week a little bit, and like the air rifle market has totally evolved and totally changed. There is some air rifles out there that are way surprising. The amount of velocities and the power that they're actually putting out is real impressive these days.
And the price is way up there too. It's insane. Yeah, some of them cost way more than a real gun. It's nuts.
Yeah, but you can also get a 50 caliber, 45 caliber air rifles. I mean, something that can actually kill an animal.
I was just going to mention that the Lewis and Clark expedition, they had an air rifle that could take down deer-sized game. The air chamber was the stock, and I don't know how the hell they compressed it, but I seen it when I went to the St. Louis Arch Museum. They had it displayed there, and it was like, didn't know it. So of course, I get home and I was driving on the road, and when I got home, I punch it in, and back then they had an air rifle that shot, I can't remember the caliber. It's up there, 45. So it's, and now I see these new modern air rifles doing that. You know what I mean? And they are that strong. They can do it. And it's like,
yeah, Alaskan Ballistics. I had sent Alaskan Ballistics one of the Fiocchi red dots, or however they called it. I forget what even the name of the company was. It was crap. Not only was the lens like chipped on the side straight out of the box, but it wouldn't zero. It wouldn't even come close to zero. The thing was just junk from the factory, and they sent it to me for review, and I told them, no, I'm not going to review this thing's a hunk of junk. If you want me to tell everybody it's a hunk of junk, that's exactly what I'll do. And they're like, oh, no, we'll send you another one. I said, no, don't send me another one. I don't want it. I'm just not going to say anything about your product. So instead, I took this and I sent it to Alaskan Ballistics. And he took care of that little red dot for me. So if you hadn't seen the video, go to Alaskan Ballistics channel, look in his videos, and you'll see the video. He's got labeled for Allen-B Pro. And he does a nice job of taking care of that red dot.
Does he
Yeah, I got
shoot
a
it like?
scope I gotta send them too. I got a scope I gotta send them. It wouldn't. Daniel will tell you it was in reverse. When you tried to zero it, kept going the opposite way. So you couldn't. It just wouldn't zero properly whatsoever. I'm not
It
even
had
mad.
left-handed threads. That's all it was. They just went the wrong way.
And this was after we confirmed by reading the directions.
Oh,
Right.
Oh well. Yeah. Oh well. Yeah. Us as men, we think we don't need to read them, and most of the time we don't. But every now and then.
So Jamie, did you get out and do any shooting this week at all?
I did. I went to the range yesterday and waited in line. Of course, I didn't get up early. Well, I got up early enough. I just had kids and trying to help the wife take care of young and all that. So I didn't get out of the house till 11 o'clock and went and grabbed a chicken sandwich and rode up there. And I had to wait like 45 minutes to get a booth and then get a lane, whatever you want to call it. And the new scope is awesome. Never knew what I was missing, man. I'm telling you.
Well, you probably couldn't see it.
There you go. But yeah, 24 power scope. You don't need a spotting scope. You just turn the power up. Of course, I don't shoot at 24 power. I don't know what you guys do, but at 100 yards, I tend to keep it around 10, 12, 14, right in there. And but yeah, first Milrad scope I've ever owned, and it's a lot quicker to zero. And glass is great, and took a while to get here, but I think it's going to be worth the wait because it's for those of you that don't know, it's the Arkin Optics SH4 Gen 2. It's weighs 2 1/4 pounds, and it's only like 14 inches long without the sunshade, so it's a little tank. And
Well, and remind us what you put that on.
I don't believe I said.
I thought you said what you were going to put it on, but what'd you end up bolting it to?
Well, he's done figured it out anyway. I bit the bullet on. I was holding this back. I was wanting to surprise Scotsman. Next time we get together, I wanted to have something I could shoot out to range with also. So, of course, he already recommended something anyway. So I got a Ruger American Predator in 6.5 Creedmoor. And when I shoot that barrel out, I'll either rebarrel it with another 6.5 Creedmoor, maybe a Douglas or one of those pre-fit barrels, or I'll send it to Kenny and have send it to Eagle Eye Shooting, let him do it, and or do it myself. Some of these pre-fit barrels, guys, all you need is a vise, a couple of wrenches, and no-go and no-go gauges, and you can. It's no big hairy deal to build a bolt-action rifle.
Yeah, it's a good gun. I actually review that gun too. It's a good rifle. Yeah, when I shoot 100 yards, generally, you don't go more than 10, maybe 12 power, because then it gets too big, you can see every shake in it too.
Right. Exactly. There's a give and take.
And
You
that
know, I'll say this.
Kenny was saying that scope went up in price because they got cocky on what they got, so that jumped up in price. Is what he was saying the other night.
I was going to say the comment you guys made. Yeah, at a certain range, you zoom in too much. I used to varmint hunt, shoot woodchucks at 400 or 500 yards. You zoom that scope in all the way. Every time your heart beats, the scope twitches. There's nothing you can do. You can breathe however. Every time your heart beats, you can see the scope twitch. So, and yeah, I made a lot of long shots, but you had to go, okay, heart's twitching, twitch in between.
Yeah, you learn to do that. You really do. Shooting rifle, especially at range, you learn to take a good deep breath, let half of it out, and then you start to feel your heartbeat, and then you squeeze in between heartbeats, and it's really a surprise when the gun actually goes off.
Yep.
Because you're only squeezing the trigger in between heartbeats and when the crosshairs are exactly on the target. Right.
Bottom of the breath when it's supposed to be your most relaxed. You got to find, and you better have the timing just right. I don't need to see a doctor. Why do I need a doctor? Well, she's hot. I'll go see her. She's hot.
Lakeview Outdoors is correct. Preferred barrel blanks would be what I would buy if I was going to do it myself, and not buy a Douglas and have Kenny put it on there. But Douglas barrels are supposed to be among the finest in the world, and but those preferred barrel blanks, they're square, they're threaded, come with the wrench, one of the wrenches, and there's just our buddy West Desert Shooter works for them, and he does some of their YouTube work. So they do have those barrels on YouTube. If you want to go check them out, just look up preferred barrel blanks and go check them out.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm like a Jedi. I can control my heartbeat, so I can just stop it.
You can start it back, brother.
Yeah, I did go a little bit this week and launch some of those Daniel chunks of lead at the hard target steel, and I'm sorry, Daniel, they didn't fare very well. I couldn't even see the majority of their remains. Although,
is this going back to the cast off? Is this going back to the cast off? Which bullets were better? Is that what you were referencing? Okay.
No, well, not better, but at the cast off, I did get a batch of projectiles that were made by Daniel himself, and I did go and expend some of those today, or not today, this week.
So did you try Jamie's? Did his do better? Have you tried his?
Well, I didn't get any of Jamie's. I didn't win Jamie's. I only won Daniel.
Well, you shot my 40 cal bullet in your 10 millimeter.
I sure have. Very, very fine. Very fine.
So did you load those up yet there, Alan? Try any of them?
Yeah. Yep, I did this week. I ended up sending them straight at my hard target steel. And yeah, they flew real good, but I didn't see what happened to them after that.
Oh, they go flat. Yeah, they kind of disappear. I don't know if you can hear me now because my earbuds just quit working.
I can hear you now.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, yeah, because I went and got I got two new colors from Eastwood, and they coat those bullets a lot thicker.
Yeah, that The last blue ones that you shown, those things look great.
Yeah.
They look absolutely great.
Even coats the bottom of them.
You got the powder coating from who? Eastwood?
Yeah.
Yeah, you said it gives it a better coating?
Yeah, the powder coat. What happened? Scotsman just left us.
Old what's his name? Scott. That's funny. I've yet to get into the whole thing, and I've been talking to all our buddies here, and yeah, it's going to happen soon. I'm going to start casting and powder coating again, or casting and powder coating.
Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to welcome old what's his name?
That's me. That's me. I'm still around. I'm here.
What's up, Scott?
Hello, gentlemen.
That is a phenomenal curtain, sir.
You like that back there? That has to. Where did he go? That's a weasel. That's a weasel curtain.
Yeah, he jumped out to make room for you.
Okay, I'm going to have to jump out because I can't hear you guys. All right, I'm going to jump out because I can't hear you guys. I got to redo this whole thing.
I like the beard, Daniel.
It is deer season.
Yeah, I like it. I like it. It's good seeing you.
All right, I'll be watching. I just can't hear nothing.
I got
Obviously, I can hear you, but it's like really bad.
All righty.
No, Kingpin, a man's got to know his limitations, and mine are way short of making my own bullet molds.
Yeah, you kind of need the tools for that too.
Yeah, you need a CNC machine and lots of other tools.
Yeah, it's not worth it. Yeah, I shot the first annual Bold and Curious turkey shoot today. Not today, yeah, yesterday.
And you survived.
Was supposed to be 5 of us, and no, we had a competition. We just called it turkey shoot. Okay. At my range, we ran like 4 stages. It was fun. I had a couple of friends over. Started early, 10 o'clock. We were done by 12. Had fun, and we did it like whole legit. I got a whole on practice score. We kept the score and everything. Unfortunately, there was a guy that's in the chat that whenever he's reloading his ammo, I guess he drinks too much, and he had 2 squibs. So after that, we DQ'd him.
2 squibs?
Yeah, he had one, and then he had another one. I don't want to say his name, but, starts with D. D nice.
So you're saying barrel lodged or bullet lodged in barrel squibs?
Yeah, he had no powder, just a primer.
Get the
and if you ever get a squib, okay? If you ever get a squib, this is for everybody. I mean, you can hear it right away. It sounds weird. I catch it right away. I stopped him twice. Don't take the gun apart. Don't take the barrel out and try to get it out like that, unless it's stuck like halfway. Because most of the time it's gonna be right at the end. 9 out of 10 times it won't chamber the next round. So all you do is get a squib rod, keep the gun together, get something hard, piece of steel, a rock, whatever. You whack that a couple of times against the rock, it'll push the bullet right out. Otherwise, if you take it apart, you gotta hammer it out. Just so you know.
So kind of mortar it out.
Yeah.
At the breech, not the muzzle.
Yeah, you put a squib rod right in the front of the muzzle, right here. Okay, you're holding the gun by the grip, you stick a squib rod right there, you grab the whole thing, and you whack it a couple of times against something really hard, it'll push it right out. Unless it's like halfway through the barrel, then you got bigger problems.
Yeah.
I can honestly say I've never had a squib round that stuck in the barrel.
Well, if you're reloaded, it's not about if, but when.
Yeah, well, I can say this. I did have some light loads that the powder measure must not have thrown the right charge, and it went boop, or the primer didn't work, and the damn bullet barely got out the end of the barrel. I have had several friends that reload have squib loads. I know one guy I haven't talked to him in years, but he was loading some 38 special in his Dan Wesson 357, and they weren't seeing it impact the target. And then they found out they stacked like 6 bullets on top of each other, and it's like, what? But hey, I'll say this for Dan Wesson, it didn't blow up, but when they drove the shit out of the barrel, like, really, when did it occur to you to maybe stop and re-examine your?
Yep. It's got a distinct sound. It's really you can hear it right away. And if you don't see the 2 shots coming out, something ain't right. So time to stop.
Well, that's the thing. When something leaves the end of the barrel this fast or this fast, it's a distinct sound. When it goes bang in the chamber and doesn't, that's a very
well, and in the world of today's automatics, it probably doesn't even cycle the slide right. I wouldn't know. I honestly have never had to deal with a squib.
Well, give it time.
You will.
No, like I said, of them were either the powder measure didn't throw or a bad primer that doesn't ignite right, and I've never had to drive it out of any of my barrels with my loads. I did have to drive a bullet out of a barrel with a buddy's loads. Well, I'm not going to shoot his loads anymore. So
yeah, I generally don't let people shoot my load, and I don't shoot other people's load. That's a good rule of thumb.
Well, I had a lot of people say I don't have a problem shooting your loads because you're okay, but yeah, there's a handful of people that I know that no, I don't even want to. That it's the only last round left because it's probably the last round for me.
And it also depends on the cartridge. Like, for example, 45 long Colt, you got a big ass cartridge, and I'm loading a clean shot at 7.9 grains. It's a maximum charge, and I literally take every case and put it on the light just to see if there's something in there, because you can't see looking straight down the case. For example, 223, when I load 223 on my 650, I have one station with a powder checker where it checks it, because it's my 9mm. I generally look into the case before I place the bullet. But even that, sometimes I watch TV and I ran out of powder and I don't notice, and I wind up getting some bad. So if I catch it, I just scrap the last 10, 15 rounds. Take them apart until I find out which one has a powder. But I had a few squid myself. It's just once you get shooting a lot and reloading a lot, it's just a matter of time.
With me, honestly, you make a good point, Val. I went Lee Pro 1000. I have a little light set up, and it's set up just right. And I look into, after it powder charges, I look into the case, and I we all try and keep track of the powder and the powder measure and all that, but I look into the case and see the powder in there, and I can't tell if it's grain off, but I can tell you that that looks where it's supposed to be. That just the visual inspection, you know what I mean? So
with my
stage, I do the same thing. It's like, okay,
with my Dillon Square B, I've got a light. It's a separate aftermarket light that is taped up just right to where I can see in the case without even really moving my head. And so it doesn't matter how many lights I have on in the room. I turn that light on because every single time I push that thing forward, I just glance. And yeah, I'm not going to be able to tell you if the grains are exactly right or not, but I can tell you, it has generally that much amount of powder in it.
Enough to make it leave the end of the barrel.
You would hope. Squash did a video here not too long ago too. Magnetic sewing machine light. They're like $13. So you can pretty much put that anywhere. It's a cheap, inexpensive way to light up the press if you need to light it up.
I actually have a couple lights. I got a friend that made a LED light for me that lights everything else, but I still have the light going into the case to see the powder.
Yeah, I highly recommend those UFO lights. Both the ones that I put on my presses work like magic. I cannot load if I cannot see.
Yeah, I like the little LED strips. The UFO lights, that is phenomenal. You can see everything going on all the time. The one that I've got is just a little light that's stuck on the side with some double stick tape, but it's exactly what I needed, and it's a true white light. So I'm not looking straight at a bulb or anything like that. It doesn't create any eye fatigue by looking at it. But yeah, when Insight, when you put out the lights on yours, I was like, that's some trick stuff.
You can go to Home Depot, buy under cabinet lighting. You buy a whole kit for $25. You buy the shortest one that you need, and I think you can cut it like every 2 inches or so. You just customize the length, and even comes with the remote, and even changes freaking colors, like 5 different colors. You can literally buy the whole kit. I think $25 or $30. And there's no soldering involved, no nothing. It comes with a little transformer that you plug it in, and a little module that the remote works off. Done. Simple. Or you can go and talk to some remodeler and see if he's got something left over from the last job.
So I see Willie Bulletman out there, and he called me up from the gun show yesterday while I was at the range waiting in line. He said in California they're wanting $150 for 1,000 primers.
I put a 3,000 of small pistol match primer, Federals, on Gunbroker just for the hell of it. People drove the price up to almost $500, and I started at penny auction. They drove the price up to like $500. Then the biggest problem I had, you can't ship it. I figure I'll go to UPS, I ship it hazmat. Nope, you can't do that. Turns out it's got to be FFL and it's got to be certain way. But then again, my guy shipped it for me, so it didn't really cost me a whole lot. I was gonna take a chance and just send it regular USPS mail or something, but with my luck, something would blow up and I would get arrested.
Did you say 500 for 1,000?
No, 3,000. 3,000 primers for $500. That's how much they paid.
Oh,
People were desperate.
Oh yeah, that's still.
I kind of felt bad, but I was like, you know what? They bid it up, so screw it.
Hey, if you got them to spare, make some money, right?
Yeah, there's people on Gunbroker making stupid money.
Well, that's probably one of the reasons why you can't find them in the store. Because if the store has them, they're not gonna sell them. Because a place where I bought the primers, I paid $59 for the 1,000. I mean, yeah, they were match rifle primers, Federal, but still, you know. Last time I went there about 6 months ago, he still had small pistol primers, and they were priced the same way, like anywhere from $50 to $60. And I think Winchester were like $45. I bought every single small pistol primer he had in store. I wound up buying like 11,000 primers. Even at that price, I'm like, I'm not taking any chances that I'm not going to have. I'm down to about 30,000, and I'm kind of freaking out.
You're down to 30,000 primers?
Yeah.
You're doing okay then.
15, 20, 25, yeah, down to about 30,000.
Yeah, I don't have a one. Bite me.
Yeah, well, not my fault. Maybe if we didn't have like 4 or 5 wives, you could have more money to stock up.
I've had one wife. That was enough. Now, honestly, before all this crap happened, I did buy, I don't know, I might have 6,000 primers and plenty of projectiles, and I got ammo loaded, and and I'm looking at it now going, I wish I would have bought more. And this is something to all the reloaders out there. When it comes back and the prices are back to normal or what?
Is it me or is he cutting out?
He keeps cutting out.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. Okay, here's what I think is going to happen. Okay, it's the same thing with the lumber, same thing with everything else. So the prices of the components and the ammo skyrocket because there's not enough. It's simple supply and demand. At some point, they're going to come down, but they're not going to come down to whatever it used to be. Because the same thing happened after the Newtown shooting. Same thing. Everything went up. It came down maybe 30, 40%, but not back 100% to what it was. Lumber's the same way. 15 years ago, OSB plywood was like $8. Okay? Then everything went up to like $15. Now we're paying $28 for OSB plywood. Yes, it's going to come down a little bit eventually when all this shit stabilizes, but it's going to settle at maybe $20. That's just new norm. That's how it goes. Everything else as well. So don't count on buying cheap Tula ammo for $5.99 and 50-round box.
Gasoline prices do that too. So, I guess I was cutting out. No, I was saying that I wish that I would have stocked up a little bit more on supplies. I do have enough and I got ammo, but I wish I would have stocked up a little bit more.
Well, that's why whenever you can, you buy in bulk. You get into the whole deal with 1 or 2 friends. This way the hazmat and shipping is not a big deal. And you buy 20, 30, 50,000 at a time. Usually you get a better price and you stock up. And 30,000 primers sounds like. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead. No, I was going to say 30,000
primers sounds a lot, but it doesn't. It's like maybe if I slow down in shooting, then it's maybe 2 years at the most.
Yeah, and if you're splitting it between 3 people or 5 people or whatever, yeah.
I'd make
When
them
we're looking at
crap. They ain't gonna shoot my reloads.
I'll gladly pay you in 2022 for some primers today.
Well, a friend of mine had somebody ordered a full pallet of SIG ammunition, 9mm, okay, for a decent price, but he's not gonna get it till next October. So but I guess if you're able to pre-buy it now.
And will he get? There's another question.
We didn't hear it. You cut out again.
We didn't hear your question. We heard everything but.
Will he get it next October? Will he?
Well, that's a good question. But I guess hope dies last.
Yeah, right now it's just can but trying. You got to do.
Exactly. I mean, I was at the gun store. I mean, he had ammo, but.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead, Val.
Sorry.
Yeah, I've slowed down quite a bit on my 9mm shooting, simply because the supplies are harder to come by. The 10mm has been seeing a lot more use, and because I have more of those supplies, and I can get more of those supplies occasionally, unlike the supplies for the 9mm. So that's what I've been doing. I've just been kind of supplementing by going to a different caliber.
Yep. That's why I was looking at that airsoft pistol, because I've only got maybe potentially 5,000 that I could load up for 9mm. And I really don't want to waste that.
Well, that's why it's also a matter of how much you're shooting. I mean, I step out of my house, takes me 2.5 minutes to get to my shooting range, and I go there. I do pretty much whatever I want. I mean, yesterday, we each shot close to 200 rounds just in a match, and I stay out and shot a little more. Then I went out today, shot a little bit because I'm not gonna have a time over the week, and it was a nice weekend. So, if you only shoot once a month and you put 50, 60 rounds down range, then 5,000 primers will last you a lifetime.
And there's other ways to train right now too. One of the big things that I do when I'm going to the range, now if I am going to the range, is I'm not shooting full magazines. I'll shoot strings of 3 or 4 or 4 or 5 or 6, whatever. Usually no more than about 6 at a time. And that way I can get to practice my reloads more, and I'm taking my time more, and I'm not burning up as much ammunition.
Here's another trick. JJ actually told us that. Probably shouldn't say that. So let's say you have a string of fire. Like at my range, I have 10 pieces of steel, and I set up a drill. Okay, let's say I got to shoot 5 pieces of steel. So instead of shooting 5 pieces of steel, even if there's some kind of movement in between, you take the first shot, and then you go second, third, and fourth. Instead of going and shooting all the way, you prep the trigger, you say bang in your head, move to the next target, bang in your head, and fire the last shot. Let's say if you want to get the time. You follow this way, you get the same drill, but you only fire 2 shots instead of 5. Do you understand what I'm trying to say?
Warsaw had a comment out there directed towards the ball that he's recommending a particular New York compliant AK trigger because he knows you don't like the stock. So Arsenal single hook.
Yeah, I know. He mentioned it a couple of times. I was looking into it. I didn't really have a time and energy to mess with that. Plus, I kind of bought that gun just because I like it. I didn't really buy it. I traded it for something. So I might just keep it and save as is. If it would be like an AK, I go out and shoot like crazy, then yeah, I would do more work to it. But it's more of a collector's item. I mean, AK trigger sucks, but it's not like I can't shoot it decently.
So Insight, you used to be a staple here on Foreign and Domestic, and then life happened.
Oh yeah.
Haven't heard from you for a while, brother. How are you doing? What are you up to?
Doing good. Just been on the road a lot, back and forth between Middle and East, and work stuff's kept me busy. Just mostly life stuff, though. I mean, it's just been. I'm now officially homeless in Middle Tennessee. We sold the house back in September, and that's kind of put a twist on things. So when I go back there, I'm like Airbnb because I'm only in town for a couple of nights usually when I'm there. So that's it. Just a lot more on the go, and quite frequently I'm on the road during this. So, but that and agreeing with you on the conserving and shifting to guns with things that I have more ammo for, and going to the range instead of shooting 250 to 400 rounds, shooting a couple of magazines to stay sharp. One of the things about this move is when I moved, I had a place lined up that I was supposed to move into, and it fell through literally through the last couple of days. So I have one of those wonderful pods that's full of all my stuff in Middle Tennessee. And inside of that is that magical mix of things that make these freedom seeds. So I'm down in my big coffee cans to smaller amounts than I was when this all started. So I'm really conserving right now. And I noticed that in your outfit, you had something that would tell me what you were generally shooting and carrying more. And, I know we don't show these things, but sometimes our outfits, tell they tell a lot about the person when you show your outfit. And so I'm carrying things that I have more for too. So there you go.
Yeah. Yep. It depends upon what you wear occasionally. that just really makes the outfit.
It really does. Accessories. It's a girl's best friend.
It really is. It really is.
But sometimes things just randomly fly through the room.
Yeah.
Ella, you're not afraid it makes your butt look big?
Airsoft things.
No, I wish it made my butt look big. I don't have a butt. I swear, I think I have the ass of a frog. Have you ever seen a frog's ass?
Does it bump
Right
on the
here.
ground when he hops?
Nope.
You know,
No, it keeps me from bending over without grunting.
Yeah, I got the same problem. I got no ass. Nothing to hold my pants.
No, I think I've grown extra ass just on the wrong side. I'm like studying to be Santa Claus at this point, and so it's showing.
I'm still calling mine a Corona baby, but I
There you
haven't
go.
had a single Corona. I've had some more of this since then. So
That's some good stuff right there.
What you drink? What you drinking, Scott?
it's one of my favorite, less expensive whiskeys. It's Bird Dog, and I had it at the wedding, and I pretty much keep it around here whenever I want it. It's my go-to. I have some more expensive ones, but I like my Bird Dog.
I gotta wait till 8 o'clock. Until 8 o'clock, I'm a freaking Aussie.
You got an oil can going there.
Yeah. Usually I don't drink booze till after 8.
Yeah, he
one
doesn't
time,
drink until after 8.
yeah, one time I broke the promise when I had to enter a certain contest. So I had to be drinking at 7, but it was for the good cause.
I might still have some screenshot footage of that event.
There was
Somebody,
lots of opportunity.
somebody was kind of sleeping, but you weren't. So.
Hey, everybody wants to be like Val.
That's warm fuzzies from that one. That was awesome. So that's it. I mean, you asked what I'm doing. I basically in 1 year put about 42,000 miles on my car.
Oh, yes. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a lot of road time, brother.
Yeah, I'm feeling it. And it didn't involve a trip to Ohio.
Right?
We're supposed to. Mother. Yep, we're supposed to.
Fucking bullshit COVID.
Yep, you're absolutely right with that.
Well,
I
didn't
mean,
go
that's
away.
tough.
We're getting the false round, whatever they're calling this round, whatever they call this, the reawakening. I did laugh the other day because I was reading in a local publication, which usually doesn't mention this stuff. They were talking about they had tracked college students. Of course, that's a big thing. I'm in here in Knoxville, in a college town, and they had tracked 100 colleges throughout this whole thing. And of that, they had 138,000 positive cases. Does anybody want to guess how many were even hospitalized out of the 138 positive cases of the college students from 100 universities that they tracked?
Minus 5.
Well, they had 17 that were hospitalized. None of them with life-threatening anything, just really high temperature fever stuff. One of them died, but they said in there was a subnote that it was correlated with 3 correlated illnesses that caused the death.
Okay, did you notice one thing? Whenever you watch any news, any media, anything where they talk about people that died from COVID, no longer they say X amount died from COVID. They say X amount died with COVID.
Yep.
I noticed that. They don't say from COVID anymore because it was disputed that there's only only a little percentage actually died from the actual illness. So now they little play on words.
Yeah, it's not as fun to virtue signal if you let people know the truth. It's always
Yeah, but
easier to.
people are still scared. Okay, we went to a funeral And this was basically in the video that YouTube took down. So we buried Monica on Wednesday. We couldn't have a funeral in the funeral home because only 25 people are allowed. But since we did it in a church and there was a mass, 150 people are allowed to be in. Okay. Now, riddle me this. On the one hand, everybody's scared of the virus, mask, and all the BS. And but the priest obviously couldn't wear the mask because he couldn't talk with the mask on. And so that was fine. And then at the end, you get the sacrificial thing, whatever. I'm not a religious person. I shouldn't say I'm not religious. I'm just not a church person. So, but my wife is. So they hand it to you with the hand. So what's the point? And after that, we go to a restaurant where only 25 people are allowed again. And you got to walk through the restaurant with the mask on. Once you sit down, you can take it off. Explain me how the hell, we have a super smart virus, only hovers at 6 foot level.
Oh, yeah.
Whenever you drop below that, it's not there.
Yep. Unfortunately, in Tennessee, we're pretty open up here, but we have these liberal bastions of big cities like Knoxville and Chattanooga and Memphis and Davidson, Metro Nashville, where the health departments are legislating, where they've all of a sudden become these bodies that pass laws and stuff. And here in Knoxville, this past before Thanksgiving on Monday, they made sure they did it before Monday. They went ahead and they cut back on percentages of people in restaurants. They cut back on bars where they were closing at 10 o'clock. Now I'm not a big boxing fan, hadn't been since it was real boxing, but I would have been interested to see the Tyson thing last night, but I wouldn't have paid to watch it in my home, but I would have gone to a bar. Anybody want to guess what time that fight was on? It was after 10. So I would have gone to a bar and drank and watched that fight, but there wasn't a lot of patronage last night, or they were getting arrested if they were, because they got the police behind it here.
Well,
yeah,
Scott, if you haven't been exposed to it, you should be fine, because you don't have a home. You're homeless. Apparently, it's not affecting the homeless. We don't hear any reports about homeless people dying in droves because they have to kind of rely on each other a little bit, and they don't wear masks, and they don't use hand sanitizer, and they're not washing their hands every 35 seconds. So I think you're safe. Being how you're homeless.
Yeah. They try because they're dirty. They don't care. They live dirty. And guess what? They build a tolerance. I'm going to point something out. This whole COVID thing. Elon Musk. Everybody knows who he is.
Yep.
Came back negative. Okay. All this crap. Oh, they're saying COVID killed this. COVID killed pre-existing conditions. The funny thing is if you go into the hospital and even look like you have COVID symptoms, probably the flu, it's the worst flu. Oh, you're COVID. There's another number. It's a scam.
Well, there's also a greater monetary figure associated with ones that they can test positive with that they can, throw them into that mix. They get more money back for the deaths that occur under that situation. But my daughter was made, when she left work, she was nauseous, sick at her stomach. They made her leave and told her she couldn't come back without testing. She did a rapid test and it came back positive. I believe that is probably the most inaccurate test that you can do is the rapid test.
Oh, absolutely. The PRS test, they're absolutely inaccurate. There's actually a lawsuit going on. If you follow In Truth Media, there's a worldwide lawsuit going on against the fact checkers on Facebook because they're trying to discredit this German doctor. He used to be, back when the swine flu was a thing, he was actually in the German parliament, and he was in a position because they wanted to do the same thing about 10 years ago when the swine flu was big deal, and they squashed it down. And now they're trying to discredit him when he says the PRS tests are not designed for this and they're not accurate. So there goes the fact checkers. If for one second you think this is anything but the mind control, then you're dreaming. I mean, they don't care about us.
We're being scammed. We
This is the biggest scam in the history of the human race because it's happening on a global scale. Back in my old country, my mother-in-law is in a hospital with the COVID, and this is how well the socialism works, right? She's in a fucking old kid hospital. They had no fucking toilet. They're pissing in a goddamn bucket. She hasn't showered in 5 days. She can't wait for her they were supposed to be released Friday. Now they're saying they're going to let her out Monday. They don't really give them anything. No, nothing. Both of my sister-in-laws and both my brother-in-laws have COVID as well. None of them have any major symptoms other than loss of taste or loss of sense. Okay? And they won't bring this shit over here. People need to wake up.
Well, you know, I said
It's crazy. One of the things, one of the things that bugs me the most with this crap is we got people at work for whatever reason, and I know the reason, and you'll find out in a second. They keep going and get tested, and they have no symptoms whatsoever. They're going to get tested because if they test positive, they got to take 2 weeks off and they still get paid.
Well, my son just came back from school. He was supposed to stay till basically Wednesday night, but the funeral was at 1 o'clock. So he came home Tuesday night, and he gets tested because he's an RA. He gets tested once a week, whether you have symptoms or not. Meantime, the school's on lockdown. Okay, they can't go to the gym. Most of the classes are online. If he's in the classroom, masks and all the bullshit. You know, they can't have any parties. You know, at the dorm and all that. You know, so basically, kids have no fun. He's in college on the campus, can't have any goddamn fun. Poor kid's never gonna get laid.
Well, and Scotsman, I got the same thing going on because when you test, it's going to be at least 2 days before you get your results back. So what people are doing is on Wednesday, they'll show up at work, they'll be there for an hour and a half and go, man, I'm starting to feel a little warm. And they're like, oh, go test. And then they get the next 4 days off with the weekend. And then they get their test results back and they get to come back Monday afternoon because they got to wait for the doctor's offices to get their results. So I've got the same damn thing going on in our facility.
Yeah, they took second shift a couple weeks back now. Someone tested positive on the second shift supposedly. The entire second shift was closed off. They were all gone. Straight 2 weeks. It is nuts. Freaking nuts.
It is. And all for the virus that you have 99.94% chance of surviving if you're under 49. Even when you over 70, you still have like a 94% chance of surviving. So how is that not a flu?
I was just going to say
and he keeps cutting out. It says like two words and it cuts out.
You got to stop buying your internet from Walmart.
My internet spectrum and it sucks.
Okay, listen, guys. I've been listening to y'all fuss about this COVID thing. One of my best friends, his parents are up in age, and his dad, I think, is 91 or 92, and his mom is 89. So back in February, when we first started getting wind of this, they chose to stop going to their church because it's a small church and it's cram-packed full, and nobody's separating, nobody's wearing masks. And they're Scott don't know what I'm talking about. They're Primitive Baptist. And so they sang no instrumentation, all that stuff. Anyway, they chose to start staying at home because they're old, that kind of thing. So then some of the people from their church decided they're going to come and visit. Well, they came to visit, and the people who were visiting were infected. They were positive. So my buddy's parents and him and his wife, who are taking care of his parents, all of them test positive for COVID. His mom and dad both were in the hospital for a long time. His dad is still in the hospital. This past Monday, his mom passed away at 89 years old because people won't respect their wishes. And I don't know why I'm telling y'all this, but for certain segments of the population, this is real and something that has got to be paid attention to. But for the majority of us, I can see your point. But elderly folks and, that kind of those, it can kill you. It can kill them. If you've got pre-existing medical conditions, you need to take a little bit of extra care and take care of yourself. And if you, like me and my wife, thought we had been exposed, so we both went and got tested, and we were both negative.
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right, Jamie. You're absolutely right in that respect the others. But what I have a problem is that we should be quarantining the sick and those who might potentially get sick, not quarantining everybody. That's my problem. Absolutely. I mean, my mom's 75 years old. If I feel sick, even if I feel I have a flu, I'm not going to go visit her. I mean, the flu at her age and her health, the flu can absolutely kill her. So, yes, be responsible. Don't be a dumbass. Okay? But for the governor of New York State telling me I can't have more than 10 people at my Thanksgiving table, I'm going to say, fuck you, Cuomo. I'm going to invite every goddamn friend and every neighbor just spite of you. That's what I have a problem with.
Yeah, well on that. I mean, and I've said from the beginning of this, a quarantine does not quarantine healthy people. Quarantine is for quarantining sick. If you know this targets specific groups, is it not more logical to tell them to be protected? I've also said from the beginning of this, if my mother, who was approaching 90, was still alive right now, the way that I was acting would be completely different if I was her caretaker than it is without being hers, where I've got two kids that are 12 and 14 that are my main responsibility, and a wife who's equally as healthy as I am, and stepchildren that are equally as healthy and young enough to not worry about it. So, I refuse to live in fear, but I would have told my mom to use extra caution, being diabetic and having compromised immune system. I've thought from the beginning of this that it looked like this virus was almost created to target certain people. And if we look at it, where it came from, and we think about the system of government there, the fact that this addresses the people who have immune system issues and old, that's a benefit for those to die off in certain countries where those people are more of a burden on the financial society than they are a benefit to the society. I really strongly believe this was a created, categorically spread disease that is made in a lab. And it's sad that we've allowed viruses to be patented now, but we have. So we know that goes on. So
now compare that with what you just said with your Affordable Health Care Act from our previous administration. As long as you're working, as long as you're making the government money, it's all good. But when you get old, you got to retire on Social Security. You need to die, and you need to die quick. I mean, and I'm sorry, that's just the way I see it. And Red October, I'm sorry, buddy, but yeah.
And he brings up a good point out there too. All these pharmaceuticals, all these companies producing masks and all this other crap. Think about all the people that have investments in this. I guarantee you, if you do your research, most of them are already either health professionals or a lot of these, like Pelosi and all that. They got investments in this, and they're making tons and tons of money off of this.
And they're going to make tons of money with the vaccine. I mean, they have a 95% effective vaccine in 6 months, 7 months? yet we still don't have a cure for cancer, AIDS, and many other freaking illnesses.
Well,
Come on.
my thing with that one is the flu is only 40% effective, and it's been around for over 60 fucking years.
Well, you
Tell me
see,
how you can create one vaccine that is over 90-something% effective in less than a year, but in 60 years we can't get better than 40% on the flu.
well, that's why I say we gotta take the vaccine and test it on every single politician. This way, if they survive, vaccine is safe. If they die, the country is safe.
And see, I don't have a link to it yet, but I saw earlier this week the CDC mentioned about some negative effects of that, and yet the FDA has said nothing. So the CDC is telling you there's going to be a lot of negative effects, but the FDA is not.
Okay, am I the only one that noticed that the pending release of the vaccine was only brought out like 1 week after the election?
Yeah, because they want to take the credit for it.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, I personally am not going to take the vaccine. Even if I believe in vaccines, I'm not going to take something that nobody has any idea what the side effects are and whatnot. Like there's a doctor or whoever he is in Slovakia, when he says, "Oh, everybody should get a vaccine, and the state should have a special fund. So if later on we find out certain people have some side effects, well, we can pay them off with this fund." So now you're telling me if 5 years from now I'm crippled because of your stupid vaccine, you're gonna pay me? Is that what you're saying? I'll take my chances. I'd rather be freaking poor and healthy.
Oh. I'd rather be free and not die on my freaking knees from bullshit.
Yep.
I have a good friend, golfing buddy of mine, who used to say, "I'd rather die on my feet than live on my knees." And there's also a lot of talk about there being chips in the vaccines where they can keep up with you and know everywhere you go and all that. I don't know if I believe that or not, but
well, they don't need chips. Everybody got a smartphone, so
yeah, you've already
trust
been
me.
chipped.
Yeah,
You've been chipped for years.
NSA is listening to us as we speak.
Everything.
And that's the worst part. Everybody knows it, and everybody just learns to live with it. Okay, same thing with these masks. Everybody knows it's bullshit, but what the hell? We have to because we're being told. Like I literally saw people in my godson in the freaking restaurant. Every time he went to get the food, he would get up, put his mask on, go get the food, sit back down, take the mask off. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Use your brain, for crying out loud.
Yep, I still will not do it. I haven't done it. It's the one time that I had to do it, and I have done it once, but I was getting primers, so I had to get primers.
I was, here's
I see people walking down the street by themselves with their masks on, or driving their cars by themselves
with the rubber gloves on. Well, 2 of the towns around here actually have a mandatory mask when you're outside. Doesn't matter who's there with you. Now, they issue fines. It's $250 first fine, $500 second time, and then they fine the businesses. I went to a liquor store to get my 4 roses, and there's nobody in the store. Okay, I'm 20 feet away from the cashier, and the guy's like, "Oh, sir, you need a mask." I'm like, "No, I don't. I don't have a mask. Let me just grab my bottle." And he's handing me a mask. I'm like, "Look, nobody's here. You're 6 feet away behind a piece of glass. Scan this freaking hooch. Here's my credit card, and I'm out of here." He goes, "Yeah, I'm sorry. It's just, they fine us $2,000. So if somebody walks in and I got no mask on, he's going to get fined." So that's how they're going to get you. They're going to get, basically, he's got 2 choices. Bad enough not that many people come there. He's either going to lose business or he's going to risk to get big fine. So government overreach at its best.
Rob Painless. riding a motorcycle with a mask. I haven't seen that one yet, but
I have. I've
I
seen
would
that.
openly laugh out
I've seen the
loud.
people. I've seen the people walking down the street. I've seen the people in the cars on their own. It's just getting stupid. There's more and more of them doing it too.
Yeah, because people are dumb. Well, look what's happening in schools. Schools are getting worse and worse and worse. The colleges, they're just putting all this liberal bullshit in their heads. And now the kids are home. Explain me how a first grader going to learn how to read and write when his parents have to do that? Like, what kind of bullshit is that? Teacher, how's the teacher going to do online? And now a lot of parents are relying on the kids being in school. Like me, okay, my daughter's in the high school or whatever she does. I mean, they teach them bullshit anyway. She can do online, you know. So my kid's the same way. At least it saves on the tuition. But I know I have friends that have little kids. They and now they gotta stay home. They can't go earn money for a living. So what happens? Now you rely on the government handout, and that's what they want. That's what the true socialism is. You're dependent on the government. You're seeing all these tweets from this Democratic congressman, congresswoman. How's $2,000? What would $2,000 a month do for you? Because basically that's what they want. So what? Nobody's going to be working now. Where's the money going to come from? Just makes me sick.
Yeah, it's crazy. And like you said earlier, man, back home for you isn't good either, and it's not good back home for me either, man. You know, my brother keeps sending me all the updates and stuff, and it's just nuts.
The Red October.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Ass out there. Well, yells out there. Guys, what are you going to do when primers are dried up? I'm pretty much already in that boat. So, Jamie, what would you do if no primers are ever even available to you?
I learned to make them. It's like we've learned to do everything else. You start saving the primers that you knock out. You get you a punch. Take a little hammer and beat the dent out of it. Fill it up with the stuff you scrape off of Strike Anywhere matches, and figure out how to make it stay in that primer cup. That's what I would do.
Yeah, if anybody wants to create a YouTube video on that, it will go viral. Absolutely.
It's been done.
I was gonna say, I'm pretty sure there's some out there already.
I get a bunch of them out of my old coal jar. You know, the ones that were kind of oopsies, the upside downs, the crookeds. If I could figure out how to get those back out safely, I'd be set for a while.
That's not.
Yeah, I got a little stack of those.
Just be very careful when you decap them and stick them back in there.
Yeah, make sure you got glasses on. Yeah.
Let's see. Here's one I found tonight, and I'd gone through all of these. What's wrong with this one? Upside down.
Yep.
Oops. That one slipped. That one slipped. Inspector number 9. Maybe I should do a mystery picture and post it on Instagram. See if anybody knows what it is.
Based on the picture I saw, I was going to say it's a Burt primer.
It does look like it, doesn't it?
It looks like a case with a Burt primer out of the case.
I enjoyed watching MCK doing his figuring out how to rework those old 7.62s.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, "Well, that's a lot of work." And now that was months ago. Now I go, "Hey, man, that's probably a smart thing to learn how to do."
I'll show you one in a minute.
Well, that's the thing. If you can think of it, someone's probably already done it.
He's efficient up there. He's like making and doing the stream at the same time. Those Val though. Val's always in front of the loading machine.
What do you got, Val? 4 roses?
Oh, was it 8? Oh, yep.
Of course. One and only. Now I gotta be careful not to produce quips.
Yeah, don't pull a coda.
That's a double charge, I believe.
Double charge, yep. We've been going for about an hour and a half now. Alan, you want to go through the room again?
Yeah, sure. Why not? I mean, it's been an hour and a half or so. According to the participants list, AWAG 1000, Big Al, Fresh Fowler, Fuzz Fork. Oh my God. Idaho Rogers, USMC, East Texan Outlaws, the James Pollard, Joan Haug. I'm so bad at this. I don't know why you had me do this. Kingpin, Michael Ray, Red October, Rob, Painless, Vanessa Kitty, Wes S is the participations list. G23 is still out there. Yeah, it's still been rolling over there. Apparently, Kingpin has a recipe for making primers out of toilet paper, which is probably why we're seeing less toilet paper these days, because everybody just kind of knows. All right, so AWAG, you got to use Strike Anywhere matches and use acetone to wet the compound pack into the primer cup. Put the anvil back in, and you got yourself a primer.
Very good.
Actually, there's a video of somebody doing that, and those primers performed really poorly. I mean, he was literally getting like a half the velocities from a 38 Special. So, just FYI.
I was enjoying Chico's little post about using the old cat gun as a primer.
Right. They're really soft. You would think light primer strikes would be a thing of the past.
And we'd all have to switch to polymer firing pins.
I got a news for you. If we're not gonna be able to get the primers, we're not gonna be able to get the guns or the ammo either. So at that point, it won't matter. We'll be
Well,
rolling.
Jamie, that is one sexy stick of lipstick you got there.
What's this? He's got showing the 30 cal, the long 30 cals.
That's 7.62 by 54R.
Okay. So what's the grain? What?
210 grain Castellet projectile, powder coated and gas checked.
So looking at the big grain there, we got big grain right there too. Have you had any success in the woods yet?
No, I've not. I've been waiting on a good buck, and good buck hadn't come out. So next Saturday is going to be freezer meat time. Here's a look at the bullet.
That's nice. God, that's nice. And that's that's that Chico Perpizzle color, isn't it?
This is CCW's cast lead bullet. I mean CW long shot. I'm sorry. This is the Lyman 314-299, and you can see that he powder coated. I put the gas check on it, sized it to 313. I used a NOE expanding plug.
Yeah.
It is 316 at the collar, 312 on the shaft. And I got exactly 1,000th neck tension on there. And if you notice that I put just enough crimp on there, just before bolt action, I put just enough crimp to close the brass back up around.
Just a kiss. Yeah, just a kiss at the edge.
Yeah.
Hey, Jamie, do you make the gas checks or you buy them?
I bought these. Yeah, Daniel, this is 7.62 by 54R. The mold is 314. I sized it to 313, put 312 neck tension on there. So I'm excited about getting those out to shoot in my Finish M39. I've had that gun probably 4 or 5 years, and this is the first hand loads I've ever done for it.
What powder are you putting in those?
World Buffalo rifle.
You pretty much got those down to what they compare to now, don't you?
Yeah, this is the same thing as Accurate 5744, which is a great reduced load powder for any caliber.
And for anybody out there who's having a hard time finding powder, they're a good company to work with. They will answer your questions if you have a preference and want to match it up with something they sell.
These are Lovex powders that are imported by Shooter's World. Accurate used to be the importer of Lovex powders from the Czech Republic. I'm really wanting to get into some Lapua Vitivori stuff, especially for that rifle, because it's made in Finland for that old Finn military gun. But I don't know if I'll ever do that. That's just, Lapua stuff is just so expensive. I mean, a piece of brass is over $1 a piece. And K24, I have not tried Buffalo rifle and 270 reduced loads. Partly because I do not have a reliable bullet mold for 270. I have one. I just can't get it to work right. And I know it's because I'm not getting it hot enough. But I'll get that dialed in, and I think it's like 170 grain. The things are that long, but you know how big around the 270 is pretty small. So
what's with the mask?
Yeah, Val was asking if you were making those gas checks. Those were brass. Was that brass gas check on that?
Copper. I bought them from what's the name of that company?
Gas check company.
Yeah. Come on, help me out, Scotsman. You know this.
Google is your friend.
The last person I saw making gas checks was Willie did it, and I think that was pre-amputation when he was making those out of old aluminum blinds. He was cutting gas checks out of aluminum blinds back 2 or 3 years ago, maybe.
Yeah, and he sent his gas check makers back to Dima Proc, the guy that made them, and he has a YouTube channel too. But he sent them back to have them updated, and the guy just sharpened them up and everything, and then sent them back to him. So I'm thinking I'm gonna buy me a good roll of copper, send it to Willie, and tell him to send me back half the gas checks he makes. I'm gonna get he also has a 357 gas check maker, so I think I can con the old man into a few gas checks.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of the last ones I got from Natchez. I can't remember. I don't know. Can't think of the website you're talking about. I know what you're talking about.
Stages Outdoors. K24 got it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Jamie, I think with the woody powder is kind of overhyped, if you ask me. At some point, I kind of used it exclusively for the pistol because it's supposed to be cat's meow. And then at the end of the day, went back to a tight group. Because this one is just, I mean, it burned a little bit cleaner, not that much residue, but, you know, Shooter's World powders, like Clean Shot, for example, you can substitute tight group with a Clean Shot. and that thing is really nice. It's a really good powder. It meters well. It's a lot cleaner than Tide Group. With Wood, it was literally almost double the price. So whenever you buy it when they had like a sale or something.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's a little overhyped. And their low data, you have to check it because I was using their low data for a 9mm, and thank God it didn't add up. And I started literally 50% of what they suggested, and I was already too high.
Wow. So, Fuzz, yes, the Lyman 314 299 is a 200 grain bullet, but with the alloy that CW Longshot sent me and me gas checking it, it's that bullet is up around 200, between 210 and 212. Yes, Chris, the Gators. I like the Gators best. Just spend the extra half of a cent and get the Gator one. PC Bullet Empire did a video about that. Aluminum versus the regular versus the Gators. Yeah, just I'm leery about sending aluminum down my bore, and the Gators hold on to the bullet so much better. You're better off. Just think about you've got that loaded round, that loaded bullet is in the cartridge. And particularly if you're hunting, you're carrying it across the field, then you're climbing up in a tree stand, all that kind of stuff. Or just going to the range. I'm telling you, the Gators are worth the investment. It's a scary thing to think about a gas check coming off the bullet inside the cartridge. I don't know what that would do. Probably not much. I just don't want to chance that. So check your seating depth too. Keep that gas check on the neck with good tension on it.
What kind of velocities you getting with that lead bullet and the gas check? Did you fire
No,
it yet?
these are my first loads, and that's the first one I've even got crimped. So I've been working on that while we've been sitting here talking. So I got all my charges loaded up.
Just for the hell of it, this is a surplus 154 762 by was it 54R? I took apart just for the hell of it. I just wanted to see. And these are 148 grain bullets. This is the old spam can. I don't think you can reload this. Oh well, I guess you could, but it's just, I think it's a steel case. I don't think it's brass.
It is
See this one, like this one, Val?
like a lacquered steel.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. You see that point coming out the top?
Yep.
And you see where the copper stops?
Yep.
Okay. That core is steel. And I'll prove it to you if I can find a magnet, which I have right here.
Right here. I got both of them.
So,
yeah, I know. Good old
That's
steel.
effective. Unless you're at a range, then it's undesirable.
yeah, your range will not like you.
Well, only if you shoot steel.
Right.
They don't like what it does to their backstops too much either.
Yeah.
Like an indoor range. Okay.
Careful.
Outdoors, it should be fine.
Yeah.
But indoors, yeah, you don't want to do that. There's Gun Snob. What's up?
So Jamie, have you started working on a 6.5 load?
I have not.
So when you do, I'll send down the Tika, and then you can compare the two together and see how consistent what you're making is between the two.
I'll just meet up with you, man.
Yeah, I'll leave it with you for a while. I trust you.
Hey Scott, I'll take the Tika. I'll compare it to RPR.
You do the work. Get back to me with the load data.
Yeah, we'll take some measurements, Scott. See what's up. Gotta see where, and see if y'all noticed that I stopped on one round right there because I gotta go get my rifle and make sure that's going to chamber before I start seating them. Hey, Mark, what's up, MCK? We were just talking about you. So, Scott, that's kind of going around. I accidentally got one of Scotsman's down here, and I sent my 30-30 home with him, and so it just gives you an excuse to meet back up, man.
Yep, we need that. I'd love to have another Dead Zero get together at some point. Hopefully, when the state calms down about this, we can all do that again.
I think
we're all looking forward to that.
My son's itching to do it. He's like, I want to go. I want to go. I want to go.
Yep.
Well, one of the reasons I did what I did was to be able to shoot with you guys, and I'm anxious to see Scotsman's AR-10 build, and then when I shot that Tikka of yours, it was like, damn. I cannot tell you guys. I mean,
hey, if you invite me next time, I can bring you a compliant AR.
Hey, you can learn
Is that like Red Bull? It gives you wings.
No,
this is the California thing with the grip.
This is New York compliant AR. That's it.
There you go.
That's the real flamethrower there. I mean, you should have compliant. It looks like it can be concealable.
Well, it doesn't have a removable magazine, so.
Well, I could afford the ACOG that's on that one. That would be the only ACOG I'd ever buy.
This is not ACOG. This is some serious optic. This is probably, 1-8 at least. Quad rail, whole 9 yards.
What was I thinking?
ACOG smaller.
Gotta have some Eastern Bloc stuff, Val. Where's your Eastern Bloc toys?
I don't really have any. I got I got the AK. I got the Mosin. That's about it. I had a VZ58. I sold it, dumbass. And I got one of the old CZ52, I think. That's about it. I don't really have a whole lot of Eastern. You gotta go to a Military Arms channel. He's got all that commie shit.
Oh God, yeah.
So what is a Ranger? Is that the Winchester Sniper Hunter?
Yeah, I believe that's the Winchester.
I believe it is too.
So what y'all got coming up this week?
Well, I got rain tomorrow, so I can't keep working on the house. Got to work on the other one inside. I got one of the buyers back out from the deal, which pissed me off, but that's what you expect from somebody that voted for Biden. So at least the one is still sold. And I got a few videos I did over the weekend, and some that I actually did a while ago. I just haven't released them. That's about it. Hopefully it's only gonna rain tomorrow, and the rest of the week will be nice, so I can finish framing the second house and then just concentrate on finishing the one that's sold. Because I just realized I'm running out of money. By the way, anybody got like $100,000 I can borrow? I'll give you 10%. I only need them for like 3 months.
I wish.
Okay, I'll take 90.
Get a hold of that wonderful government that wants to support us.
Yeah, I wish. Problem is, I'm rooting for the other team.
Yeah, that's a problem.
That's the problem. So it just kind of pissed me off because the lady, I met with her on Wednesday, and if she would told me a couple of days before, I wouldn't even start the second house and use the money to finish the first one. We met on Wednesday. We went over the few things, and Friday she didn't even call me. She texted me, "Oh, the house is not going to work for us." I'm like, "What do you mean it's not going to work for you? You picked the plan. I let you pick out of the few other plans, and you picked this one." Of course, I whatever they pick, I had to be okay with in case something like this happens. So I'm not that concerned. Because to be honest, I'm actually relieved because I can get probably $30,000 more for the house than whatever I sold it to them. So I'm like, screw you. It just kind of put a dent in my plans. But that's okay. I'm a survivor.
G23, I didn't know you were such a long shark, dude.
Holy shit, 300K. That's like a whole 300% interest rate. G23, I'll give you 10%. How about that?
That sounds like Russian mafia terms right there.
Yeah.
Not even Russian mafia is not that bad. Holy crap. He's worse than the goddamn government. Yeah, there you go. Red October's got a good idea. I'll go borrow money from Nancy Pelosi.
There you go. So I got some targets over there. I went to the range yesterday, so I think I'm going to be doing a video on 350 Legend and my 6.5 Creedmoor. So I'll be working on that this week.
How is that 350 Legend? I was on the chat somewhere. Somebody asked about it, and I was like, I don't have a single idea. I don't have a clue how's that cartridge.
They really kind of they jumped they got ahead of the horses with that wagon when they put it out there, but I think it's getting refined now. Wouldn't you say that, Jamie?
I would. We've as reloaders, we've come up with some good rules of thumb for reloading. We're getting from 180 to 200 grain. We're getting a bullet. We're getting less than 1 inch groups at 100 yards, running 2,050 to 2,150 feet per second. So you're looking at 35 Remington performance almost out of a semi-auto. And,
okay. So what does the like a 45 7? What are that run? Like 1800 with a 180 grain bullet or something like that? 200 grain bullet?
No, those bullets run from 300 to 500 grains.
Oh shit! Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and depending on the load, you can get them well over 2,000 feet.
Because that was my debate, whether it gets a lever action and a 45 long Colt to match my Governor, or go with a 45-70, something that really can put a hood on.
Yeah.
If I ever decide to go hunting.
Yeah, well, you can get a 300 grain bullet going over 2,000 feet per second, like Scotsman said, but your shoulder's going to pay for it, buddy.
That's okay. I'm a big guy.
Shoot about 20 of them, and then get your nose to stop bleeding, and we'll have another.
Go watch Daniel's video if you didn't watch his video on 45-70 and the load he put together.
Yeah, but come on, I met Daniel. Okay, he's literally half the size of me. Not to mention he's twice the age. So like, come on, he's got all the cards stacked against him. Like when you stand up that 45-70, it's taller than him.
It is taller than him.
Yeah, I'm a little guy like that too.
But he's still taller than Rick.
Yeah, they have to use optical illusions whenever the Scotsman's filming videos with him. He has to stand like really far away and keep Daniel in the foreground so that he looks taller. So
I thought Daniel's wearing high heels when he's with Scotsman.
No, it's just like Michael Landon stuff. It's all camera angle.
Oh, okay.
So what's the little guy that was in that movie? I feel the need for speed. Top Gun.
Oh,
What's that?
Tom
Guy?
Cruise.
Tom Cruise. I heard that he had to stand on a paint bucket when he was standing next to his wife Nicole Kidman when they were married, because he's like 5'2" tall. So
Yeah, he's a little
Yeah,
guy.
yeah, but you know what? He makes it up. He makes it up in fame and the bank account.
I'll take his bank account, but I'll pass on all the craziness.
Yeah.
yeah, he's a Scientologist. So
Well, yeah, and that almost became like his religion.
Yeah.
Like it revolves around Tom Cruise now.
Oh yeah, yeah. He's definitely one of the poster children.
Fresh Fowler put up there 444 Marlin. I have never shot a rifle that kicks more than a 444 Marlin. There was one of those that I've never shot the 458 Win Mag, Jerry, but that sounds, just the sound of it hurts. But there was one of those the 444 Marlins at dead zero, and it hurt. So we're getting short on time. Scotsman, you wanna?
Yeah, I was gonna say when I start going through the room, we'll start with Val.
Well, thank you for having me. Hopefully, everybody had a nice Thanksgiving. Guys, there's still like 20 days left for the 1911 giveaway fundraiser. Unfortunately, whoever I did the fundraiser passed away last Tuesday, which kind of was a celebration for her anyway. But she survived by her by her daughter, my goddaughter. Although she's 18 years old, she's still a kid. So I'm trying to help out the best I can. And good chance for you to win a couple of good prizes. So go check out the video.
Yep, all good to have you. I appreciate you showing up. Jamie?
I donated to Val's fundraiser, and I hope all you guys will too. I couldn't throw in 100 to get a chance at that sexy 1911, but I got fairly close, so we'll see what happens. And I know it's a good cause. I want to say thanks for the link. Thanks for having me. We had a great Thanksgiving. We hope all you guys did too. You can check us out on Friday nights at the Georgia Shooting Connection channel at 8 o'clock Friday nights. And we'll talk about reloading and all that kind of stuff. So thanks, guys.
Always good to have you, brother. And Scott, good to see you, man.
Yeah, it's been good hanging out. I've missed this, obviously. Ask what I've got going on. I've had a video editing for 4 or 5 days. Sits here on my screen while I'm working, and I look at it every now and then. I toy with it. I've got something coming out, and it's going to be about that. It's going to be about this wonderful little airsoft rifle. I'm going to do a little video about the intro video about this airsoft rifle, and it's one that was started by a dear friend, and it's for my son, and it's for building relationships down the road, shooting long range together. So that's where that one's going. It's good to see all of you, and it's fun keeping up with the side chat. And thanks for letting me jump in here tonight.
Absolutely. Always good to have you, brother. Glad to see you. We'll talk soon. Guys, I hope everyone had a great Thanksgiving. Great to see everyone out there. And please, if you haven't already done so, go jump over and help out Ball. Great cause. And like Jimmy said, lots of opportunities to win not just an awesome 1911, but many, many other prizes. So as you all know, it's not really about the prizes. It's about helping the people. So if you would do so, if you can, jump over and donate what you can. With that being said, I'll throw it over to Alan to take us out.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely, man. The side chat's been rolling great all night long. Thank you, everybody, for showing up. Had a great panel tonight. Couple of the main staples and Insight Freedom, the man that needs to grow a beard. But it's absolutely wonderful to see you, Scott. Glad to be able to spend a little bit of time with you. I almost was about to break out the camera and start filming, and then I had to spend the last 2 days entirely working on my car and doing a lot of cussing and throwing of wrenches. So that probably wouldn't have made a great video. Then again, it might have. But anyway, if I can find the opportunity, I will continue and work on that video that I have an idea for. But till then, I want you to make sure to keep your magazines loaded and one in the chamber. Thank you much.